Binge the full week of The Ray Taylor Show ad-free over at inspireddisorder.com/plus.
This is The Ray Taylor Show.
Rayz Dayz, episode 170. This is a weekly diary podcast hosted by me, Ray Taylor. Every Saturday, I share updates on my journey as an artist, podcaster, business owner, and human being. I'm excited to share my experiences with you and hope that my journey can serve as a source of inspiration and positivity for you. In this episode, I am going to be talking about a lot of updates. Ray Taylor Show updates. What is coming back and when? Spoilers, almost everything's coming back this week. I'm also talking about The Many Faces, my ongoing series of abstract ink paintings on paper. The Many Faces, I'm going to be talking about new work that I'm doing and new pieces that I've done. I'm also going to give updates on the user-generated content that I have been producing over the past few months as a way to bring in extra income. I'm going to be talking about just how that has been going, as there was kind of a lull, a little bit of a lack of jobs for a while, as well as some of the new promotions that I'm working on. I'm also going to be talking about personal updates, as I do on this episode. Last week was kind of a garbled mess of an update, but I wanted to give everybody a heads up on what had been going on with me in my life and what I'd been dealing with and why the podcast had been missing for a few weeks. So I kind of give more updates on all of that, where I'm at personally. And also, as I like to do, talk about my mental health, where that is, where my headspace is at these days. And as always, as I do at the end of every episode, I will be talking about something that I am thankful for. So let's get this episode started, shall we, with the updates for The Ray Taylor Show. The network of shows that Rayz Dayz is a part of. The many shows that I produce, from episode recap podcasts, which are all on a break right now as there are no new episodes to recap. The show Swipe Up, which is on a hiatus at the moment. But everything else is back. The movie and TV show reviews that I do that come out every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, those are back. This past week, I released the reviews for The Bear Season 2, Creed 2, as each week I had been reviewing a new Creed movie. Also, I reviewed the Mia Goth film, the Brandon Cronenberg film, the film Infinity Pool. Spoke about that on Friday's episode. So the movie and TV show review podcast that comes out every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday has returned with new movie and TV show reviews. Also, of course, this show is back to its normal format, as I will be doing this podcast every week and continue to do this podcast every week regardless. And also Top 5 that comes out on Sundays, where I rank movies in a variety of categories, returns this week, returns tomorrow with my Top 5 Mia Goth films. Was not sure leading up to Sunday, or Saturday actually, yesterday. I produced these shows on Sunday, record all 5 episodes, edit, upload, do all of that on Sunday. Saturday is the day that I prep for my show, and leading up to Saturday, I was unsure on if I would be returning with any shows. Kind of playing it by ear. Was at least going to be recording this show. I was going to be recording a new episode of Rayz Dayz, as I had committed to doing as of last week. But as I was preparing yesterday, preparing some of the artwork for shows that I'd already gotten ready, taken notes for, ready to go, just needed to do the prep necessary in order to get ready to record on the next Sunday. And as I was preparing the artwork, which I have started a new process of doing the artwork using the new features on Photoshop Beta, using the generative fill, the AI fill feature of Photoshop, which makes it very easy for me to reformat the artwork for the different shows to create the vertical artwork that is the background of each episode, as well as the landscape version that is the thumbnails for YouTube. And in the process of creating the artwork, which I enjoy that process, I enjoy the process of producing these shows. And that's why I started podcasting, because I wanted to see if I could do it. Could I produce? Could just anybody create a podcast? Back in 2008, when I released the Billy Dallas Show, it was just like, could I do it? Is it possible for me? And I did, and I could, and I enjoyed the process. I enjoy making things, and this is something that I found out I enjoyed making, and I've enjoyed experimenting in the many different formats of podcasting that I've experimented with over the 14 years. And once I started with the Ray Taylor Show format, producing multiple podcasts, each podcast kind of specific to the category, the thing I'm talking about, and the changes that I've made over the few years that I've been producing this show, I really do enjoy doing this show. I already enjoy watching movies, but I do enjoy the challenge of talking about movies and reviewing movies, understanding the different ways I like to talk about and review movies, and getting better and improving that. I enjoy that process. I enjoy the process of producing these shows. I get a lot of... It feels good at the end of Sunday. Sundays are my busiest day, because from the moment I wake up to the moment I go to sleep, I am working on the show. Whether it's setting up the equipment, the lights, the camera, the green screen, the laptop, the microphone, whether it's just waking up, the process of waking up and eating breakfast and posting my social media stuff for the day, whether it's the process of editing, whether it's the process of scheduling and uploading everything. I love the process of creating these shows, and I love that at the end of Sunday, there is a tangible product at the end of the day that I can look back on and see the artwork that I made for each episode. I can see the audio and the video products, the episodes that I finish. And I think part of the depression I get when I take breaks, which sometimes I take breaks because of depression, which I normally don't take breaks. Aside from equipment dying or human beings dying, it is very rare that I have ever taken any break, which is something I've taken a lot of pride in doing. And as I have been on a break because of my mom passing away and just dealing with all of the things that come along with that, I have missed doing this. So the process of getting everything ready, especially how I'm producing the fewer shows that I'm producing now, where it's just the 3 episode movie reviews and this show and top 5, it's the perfect amount of episodes and the work that needs to go into it. I enjoy it, and I'm glad that I am back recording the show, and wasn't planning on doing all 5 episodes, but because yesterday I just started prepping everything, I was like, well, I guess I'm waking up tomorrow and recording 5 episodes, and that's what I've been doing, and it felt good getting back into it. I'm feeling good recording again, and just excited to kind of just get back into my normal routine of getting things done, not only doing this show, but also The Many Faces, which I have updates on. Kind of started getting back into painting sooner, because it is more therapeutic for me to paint. And despite having the emotional and mental and all of the different issues in dealing with my mom passing away, painting was something that I got back into faster. I think I only took 1 week off from painting. And I'm also preparing for a group show at the end of August that I need to. I only have one painting that is going to be featured in this group show, but it's going to be one of the largest sized painting that I do with my style, 18 by 24, and I wanted to have as many pieces completed for me to choose one piece to submit. And that's a lot of painting that I need to do, which I do 7 paintings a week, so I can easily do it. But the process of painting these larger paintings takes longer and is far more painful. Because they are larger, I have to set my studio up in a different way to record and all of that, and which means that I'm standing up the entire time, so my feet are killing me because I'm bending over to paint these larger things on my desk. My lower back is also killing me, so I'm in a lot of pain. And then the pieces take longer, where my smaller pieces take anywhere from 10 to 20 minutes. These pieces take anywhere from 30 to 40 minutes to finish. So it's a lot longer, going from around 2.5 hours total recording time to paint 7 paintings to closer to 4 hours to get 7 paintings done is a lot more work. I'm in a lot more pain, but it's fun to see the challenge of filling a much larger space than I'm used to, where in the past I've done majority of my work are 9 by 12. This is 4 times as large. Also been doing a lot of the smaller pieces, which is way easier to adapt my style into the smaller sizes. In the larger sizes, if I had a bigger selection of large brushes, it would be easier. But I enjoy the challenge, especially the physical challenge. I think also the fact that it is painful to do has also inspired me to start working out more. And I've started to do just basic body weight exercises like push-ups and squats and sit-ups and things like that. So it's kind of encouraged me to do more things in the pain that I'm getting through. But I'm enjoying the process. I've done so far 10 as I'm recording this. By the time this episode comes out, I will have done 17 18 by 24 pieces, paintings. And because these larger paintings are with my newer style, my style as it is in 2023 versus the older 18 by 24 paintings that I'd done years ago, I have increased the price, as will happen as I move along in my journey as an artist. My newer work will increase in price as I feel that I am increasing in my ability. And the price for these, which isn't a major increase, is basically rounding them up. I'm selling for $400. Whereas so basically the 9 by 12s I sell for $100. This is 4 times the size of that. So $400, where before they were $300 and something. Also, these larger pieces will have prints available for $50. So you can buy 18 by 24 prints for only $50, which I think is a great deal. It's actually much more affordable, a lower price point compared to the prints that I sell. In some ways, the conversion is less. But anyway, 18 by 24 new pieces of artwork are in the store on my website, inspireddisorder.com. One of them will be chosen to be featured in a art event, group art show at the end of August at the Flat Black Gallery in Palm Desert, which I will talk about the details of that event at the end of this episode. But I've been working on the newer pieces, changed the pricing, increased the pricing a little bit, and so yeah, updates. Those are the updates as far as my artwork is concerned. But all the same making of videos, process videos that I record for all of the other size artwork, I am doing for this as well, which has been a challenge in itself. But so far is working out great, and I'm enjoying the fact that I'm able to do these larger pieces, and excited to see the work that comes out, because I don't know what the finished product is going to be, no matter the size. And with these larger sizes, it's even more of an unknown, because I'm filling literally 4 times as much area than I normally am. So it's been a fun challenge to do over the past couple weeks. Let's take a quick break from this episode to talk about attention all Rayz Dayz Show fans. We're excited to announce we've just released a line of exclusive merchandise featuring original artwork inspired by the show. Our high-quality shirts and biodegradable phone cases are a perfect way to show your support for the show and make a great gift for any fan. Plus, with each purchase, you'll be helping us continue to bring you great content. So don't wait. Head on over to inspireddisorder.com now and check out the full collection. Thanks for listening, and we hope you'll show your support by grabbing some Rayz Dayz Show merchandise today. And now, let's get back to the show. Also, user-generated content. I mentioned in previous episodes that it kind of dried up. I go through a service called Join Brands, which if you want to sign up to do user-generated content, you don't have to have a massive following online. But you can go get details of it. Go to my website, inspireddisorder.com/UGC for user-generated content. Sign up. If you sign up through my link, you will get $5 tip when you complete your first project. I will as well receive a $5 referral fee, so you make a little bit of extra money after you do the thing. It's really easy to do. The only thing is that it's not very consistent, so it's definitely something to make extra money. For me, obviously the extra money is helpful as I am struggling to afford survival, but it's also great practice for me to just get used to creating content in this way for brands, as I would like to do more of. I enjoy the process of it. I started doing them. I kind of put everything off for a while, dealing with everything that I was dealing with, and am starting to get back into it. Finished one product video for a foaming hand soap by a company, Grove Co., that makes these environmentally friendly products that are refillable and made sustainably and made with like natural ingredients and all that stuff. I believe it's the second product I've done for that company, and have other products like these dog supplements that I have 2 of those I'm going to do. There's a beard spray that is scented like sawdust, which is my favorite scent, is sawdust. I'm planning on growing my beard out as well. Since my hair has been growing out, I decided, well, let me just grow out my beard too, and see how that all feels. Hopefully it'll be nice and big and bushy by the time Christmas shows up, by the time the weather cools down finally. And then there's also some kind of cookie that I'm not really making that much on, but I'm getting a free cookie that's sent to me. But it'll be fun. So they're picking up the jobs. The past week I've kind of bombarded with people accepting applications that I've been applying to, and or just cold offers from other companies, all through Join Brands. And I've kind of been not doing them, and then I decided I need money, so I have to kind of just force myself to accept the ones that I feel comfortable doing and going through with it. So thankfully that has been picking up, which it really felt like it was just dying off. So definitely a very inconsistent way of doing money, at least if you're only going through one service, as I am. I would like to kind of diversify and kind of open myself up to getting jobs and this type of work through other sources, through other means, but for now, this is all I'm doing. So I enjoy it. You know, I enjoy the fact that I almost knocked over my tea right now, but I enjoy that I'm kind of getting back into my regular flow of doing stuff. I'm enjoying the challenge that is making these user-generated content, which is a lot of things. It could be something as simple as just taking a selfie with the product, or it could be doing a product review that you post, that you just send them the video, or you post on your social media, YouTube page, TikTok, Instagram, which you don't have to have a certain amount of following to do that stuff, which is nice. But so it's not really influencer work, but I don't know. I'm enjoying it, and I'm glad that it's kind of picked back up, and I'll share more of that. But you can go see the stuff that I've done on my website, inspireddisorder.com/UGC. You can see what I've done. Also, there's a playlist on my YouTube page, youtube.com/inspireddisorder, where you can see the videos that I've produced. I have a playlist, portfolio playlist of my UGC content, so you can see what I've done before, and I will keep that updated as I complete jobs, which that's probably something I will be doing this week, is updating my website and updating my YouTube page with new work. But yeah, despite feeling very unmotivated, depressed, things of that nature, the past few weeks, the past month, I'm kind of getting into the groove of getting things done again, which feels good. Feels like, you know, at least some more semblance of normalcy, which I enjoy. Which other personal updates, you know, I've been sleeping okay, having insane dreams the past few nights. One dream of which I dreamt I was like going on a trip with the people that host the All Fantasy Everything podcast, which are a bunch of comedians. One of my favorite podcasts that I subscribe to, listen to. I listen to it pretty regularly when I paint live on Thursdays. I will listen to usually the newest episode of All Fantasy Everything, or I will listen to an older episode. I've listened to every single episode at least once, in many cases twice. It is a hilarious episode. I love all of the regulars. It is hosted by Ian Carmel, Sean Jordan, David Bory. They have guests on. They are all stand-up comedians. They have other comedians on. The episodes I love the most are when Blair Saki is on. She is probably my favorite guest that it has become kind of a regular on that show. But I had a dream where I was like going on vacation with them or going on a trip with them, and I was sharing a room with Sean Jordan. But the entire time I was stressed out because I didn't have any money to pay for these things. And which is true, because in real life I am drastically close to running out of money, but need to spend money to do these product videos that I later get reimbursed for when I also get paid for those jobs. But it's still, right, the idea of having to spend money to make money is getting more and more precarious as I have less and less money to spend in order to make. Plus, I need to spend money to prepare for this art event, to buy a frame, to buy the supplies. So I've kind of been spending a lot of money recently that I don't really have a lot of anymore. And all of that came through in this dream, which I would have loved to have had this dream and know it was a dream and not worry about money the entire time, and just hang out and enjoy my time there, which I'm sure is kind of a metaphor for my life in general, constantly worrying about finances and not enjoying opportunities because of money. But regardless, in general, crazy dreams, but sleeping okay. Just not really having a whole lot of energy up until like I kind of got in the mood towards the end of the week. And we'll see how the beginning of next week goes, because it seems like my energy and motivation dips at the beginning of the week, and then I'm used to kind of ramping up towards the end of the week to produce my art and the podcast. we'll see if that continues or if I'm able to actually be more productive. But overall, kind of feeling better after having dealt with all of the things that come up when somebody dies in your family, especially if you're somebody that is the one responsible for everything, as I am. And I feel like I was able to, everything's kind of moving along. I've reached out, replied to everybody who reached out to me for the most part, and kind of have taken care of all of the responsibilities that I'm able to take care of. And just for a lot of stuff, it is just I have to wait, and they're not out. It's out of my hands. So I just kind of I've done all that I can do, and I'm just kind of just waiting. And I think because I've taken care of all the things that are my responsibility and that I can take care of, I think that's kind of allowed me to just get back into my life again and doing the things that I do, and hopefully being able to generate income so I can continue this whole journey thing. But yeah, so feeling better, which my mental health still feeling depressed it's actually kind of been a weird mixture of like depression and mania, just cycling through a lot of different emotions, but overall feel like I'm getting better week by week. Still not 100%. As far as today recording, I feel this feels pretty normal. It's felt like a pretty normal Sunday. Yesterday felt like a pretty normal prep day for this. So I kind of feel like I'm kind of coming back to normal, not necessarily 100%, but slowly getting back, and just trying to get my head right in time for the group show at the end of August. Which, again, I'm going to talk about at the end of this episode. But as I like to do at the end of every episode, before I get to my upcoming events, is I like to share something that I am thankful for. And this could be kind of long, I guess. Because I'm thankful for the randomness of life, right? The downside of it is that when things go bad, they can go bad really fast. And a lot can go bad all at once. But what I've learned in my experience being alive is that good things can happen in a very similar manner. And because the future isn't known, nobody is psychic. I don't care what anybody says. If psychic abilities existed, they would be the most successful people in the world. And generally, they are not. Obviously, people can have good assumptions. They can kind of understand patterns. And there are things where you can assume outcomes and that nature. But nobody is truly psychic. Nobody knows what is around the corner. Right? So whether you believe in like destiny or God has a plan, you still don't even know what that is. Even if you believe in those things, which I don't. But nobody knows what's going to happen. Or if you just think life is chaos, which is pretty much where I'm at. Nobody knows whether there is God's plan. He's not sharing it with you. If it's complete chaos, then it's complete and you have no idea. But nobody knows the future. So, you may have educated guesses, you may have ideas, but nobody knows 100%. So because the future is such a mystery, you never know what can happen. And that's the reason why I believe in not giving up. For me personally, the only way to guarantee anything in life is to quit. You will guarantee that you will never succeed if you give up trying. And for some, there may be a good reason to give up. You have responsibilities, you have kids, you have things in life that you can't go all in. You have to have a plan B. Thankfully, I don't. And I have less and less these days. I'm pretty much alone in this world. Aside from Izzy, my dog, who is an old lady and not going to be around forever. Aside from that, I have a lot of freedom that most people don't have. So over the past decade, I've been able to take big chances and just run it till the wheels fall off, right? Moving to Denver with my podcast co-host, as our podcast at the time was, right, seeing tremendous growth, doubling every week. But at that same time, 2015, not knowing that the presidential primary with Trump would alter so many people in this country and just embolden and encourage so many people to be really horrible, to really encourage people to act and behave like disgusting trolls. And had no idea how many people who were part of not only the audience of my show at the time, but also people involved with the podcast network that I had created and was running, called the Inspired Disorder Collective. How many of people involved in that would start attacking each other? Not only attacking myself and my co-host, but also other podcasts. Like, people showed how disgusting and horrible they could be. But when I was making my choice to leave my old life, the day job, cash in my 401k, sell my condo, go to Denver to really see what we could do with this podcast that was really growing great, had no idea that by the time I would show up in Denver that it would be completely barren. The audience would be completely, I would be starting over. No idea. Spent the entire time in Denver trying to rebuild an audience, trying to rebuild this show, trying to make it all work before the money that I had gotten from doing everything ran out. And just running it until the wheels fell off, till all the money evaporated. And it did. Because being able to recreate success in 2 years is crazy, especially when there are so many trolls out there at the time really trying to sabotage everything. It was a very stressful and sad time when it should have been amazing. I loved living in Denver, but I was stressed out the entire time living in Denver. But would never have been able to predict what would have happened. Ran out of money. Thankfully, had a friend, one of my oldest friends, had a garage available in my hometown for me to live in and to start over. I had nothing when I moved back to the Valley. Not only thought I was starting over financially, but starting over, I didn't think I would podcast again. I didn't think I would be making art again. I thought it was just like, okay, I failed. I'm going to go back to just working a regular job and and I'm just going to be I'm going to be back to this life that made me miserable and made me depressed and made me hate life. Like, that was the life I was going to go back to. But that's not what happened, right? Started making a little bit of money doing rideshare, Uber, Lyft stuff. Started painting again. Started podcasts, experimented with many different podcasts until I developed what is now the Ray Taylor Show. Basically doing separate podcasts for the different. So the idea was, instead of creating one podcast that we talked about all kinds of different random stuff and then edit those clips out, to just produce shows around the different topics that I like to discuss and produce them as self-contained podcasts. That is why I do movie, TV show review podcasts. That's why Rayz Dayz is its own podcast. That's why Swipe Up was its own podcast. Each podcast episode thing is its own podcast. So there is a singular feed where you can find all of them, but there are separate feeds for everything as independent podcasts. And that was something that I started and slowly developed over the years that I've been doing the Ray Taylor Show. Let's take a quick break from this episode because I want to promote. Are you looking for a way to take your love of the Ray Taylor Show to the next level? Look no further than Inspired Disorder Plus. As a member, you'll get access to a whole host of amazing perks, including the full week of shows, ad-free in both audio and video versions, a live painting archive, early access to the many faces, members-only discounts and deals, a podcast back catalog with over 600 episodes. But that's not all. As a member, you'll get access to my personal blog as well as my creative writing. You'll also get the chance to ask me anything you want. With all of these benefits and more, Inspired Disorder Plus is a must-have for any fan of the Ray Taylor Show. So don't wait. Go sign up now. Head on over to inspireddisorder.com/plus and start enjoying all of the amazing perks of the membership. And now, let's get back to the show. With the many faces, started recording and filming the process, which I hadn't done before. I had done a few hundred of the paintings. Now I'm at 2,300 original ink paintings. And almost 2,000 of those have process videos recorded, which I started doing after moving back to the desert. So I've been able to develop both podcasting and my art in ways that I never had expected because I didn't give up. And starting to build an audience again, starting to build my skills and grow my skills, started adding new brushes, new colors to the paintings, and both the Ray Taylor Show and the Many Faces grew and evolved so much since I moved back to the desert, which I hate the desert. I grew up out here. The summers are disgusting. Today it's 115 degrees and humid, and it sucks. And then, as things were kind of growing and building, then the pandemic hit, and I couldn't make any money doing Uber and Lyft and Postmates. And I was running out. I was barely surviving week by week, making just enough money to pay my bills, buy groceries, and then spending every available moment to produce the show and produce my artwork. And when the pandemic hit, no income whatsoever because I was doing rideshare stuff, because I was an independent contractor, no idea if I would, no plans of getting unemployment. There was no guarantee that there was going to be a stimulus check, no idea how long the pandemic would be. And even then, as my money running out, things go bad, things get worse. The DSLR camera that I used to film my artwork and film this show broke, just stopped working. My phone that I had started to use to record this show and my artwork, my phone broke. And even my laptop broke. So even the equipment that I needed to use to make these things were breaking down. I had no money. And then, because I never gave up, somehow I was able to collect unemployment, get the stimulus checks. I was able to get all new equipment, upgrade a few things, got my lighting, got better lighting, and was able to save a bunch of money because I'm living the poorest I've ever lived in my entire life. So I was able to save a ton of money, which, for those that are aware, the pandemic was a few years ago, and unemployment ran out a long time ago for me. But because I was able to save, because I'm living like barely surviving, I've been able to sustain. Thankfully, I am now making some income through YouTube, doing UGC stuff, selling paintings now and then, but it's very sporadic. Started doing live events this year, which have had to varying success. And I'm again at a point where the money that I've been using has been like the buffer that I got from unemployment is almost out. I'm barely making enough, sometimes not enough to pay my bills, sometimes just enough. So I'm kind of just hovering at this place where I can see the ground, and then a tragedy happens where my mom passes away. And even though my mom and I weren't close, and even though I'm hopeful that she had a good life, that she made good friends, and that she enjoyed her life, despite the fact that I wasn't a big part of it, which for a lot of my life wasn't necessarily my decision. But hopeful that she had a good life, knowing that she went out in a way that anybody would love to go out, natural causes, in bed asleep, right? So there is peace knowing the circumstances, but that also means that there's potential, because I'm an only child, that financially, in time, with life insurance and then whatever is left from her estate when all that stuff is taken care of, like, there is potential. Like, I'm not counting my chickens before they hatch, but at the same time, and I don't know how long things will take, if they even happen, but there's a possibility that I'm going to be able to keep going. And it's insane, because you don't know. I didn't know. There's been so many times where it's just like, I'm done. It's done. I can't go anymore. I have to stop. I have to do something else. I have to somehow go back to the workforce and work for a company that's going to underpay me and overwork me and not have any respect for my life or what I do. But somehow these insane things that cannot be predicted keep happening, that keep allowing me to just go one more step in my journey. And I don't know. I don't know how it all works. I don't believe, there is no religion that I believe understands the world we live in, our existence. I'm not convinced that any religion understands that. Nothing would make sense. There's no way I'm believing in the Christian God, knowing that the most evil things happen to children in his home by priests and youth pastors. I'm not going to pray to a God that allows those things to happen by people that serve him. And all of the other religions are equally as man-made. I'm not going to devote blind faith to stories written by men designed to control people. But I do know things are crazy. And I do know that if you don't give up, and it's not like I'm making bad, like, I could have run out of money. I mean, I could have spent all of the money from unemployment on bullshit and just ran out of money immediately when it stopped. Like, I've made a lot of sacrifices. I made a lot of important decisions over the years to allow for the longevity that I've been able to stretch the money that I've gotten out and do the things that I can do. Like, I'm working with what I'm given, but the goal has never changed. The goal of victory or death, which is kind of my mental process with everything. When people ask how I'm doing, victory or death. Like, they're surprised that I'm still able to do these things that I've been doing, that I've, since I left my regular full-time job, which I was doing these things back when I had a full-time job, but it is a completely different reality these days that I don't have. And since the pandemic, I have been focusing 100% on these things in a way that I've never been able to do. aside from Denver, but I was doing so much from scratch. Like, this has been a cumulative building upon past steps, past failures, learning, growing. It's all combined to be where I am today. And it, like, there's this possibility that I'm going to be able to keep doing it. And it's because I never gave. There's been so many times where I've wanted to give up, where I'm expecting it to be just to end. The fact that I'm even where I'm at right now, after how long it's been since I've collected the last unemployment check, it's almost 2 years now, I think, is insane. I never would have thought in 2023 that I would still be financially able to do all of this stuff. And it's just like, part of it is like not giving up because I don't want to go back to that life, but it's also like, the only way I want to live in this world is to do these things. If I have to give my life to a corporation that uses me to generate money for a minority of people at the top who collect massive amounts of money, I refuse to be a cog in somebody else's machine. I've spent enough of my life in a place. I worked at Costco for 13 years, which is highly regarded as a place that cares about their employees. And that is a life I would prefer death to. And it's really easy to make big life changes when death is the option. So for me, it's either I find ways to survive and keep making new steps on this journey, or I'm dead. Because if I'm alive, then I'm still trying to make this shit work. And I'm very thankful that life is so insanely random, that life is so insanely unpredictable, that despite the fact I'm not willing to quit or give up, that somehow I've been able to get these opportunities in life and keep taking new steps on this journey that I'm on. So that this week is what I'm thankful for, the randomness of life. It's bad things happen, horrible tragedies happen, right? It's victory or death, and I ain't done yet. I ain't dead yet. Victory or death, and I ain't dead yet is what I say. And I can't even say it right here. Because for me, it's victory or death, and I ain't dead yet. And I mean that. If I'm alive, I have a chance. I'm going to continue to push. I will continue to take the next step. I will continue to grow and evolve. I will continue to try new things, push myself, take new chances until I find the right formula that works. So I am thankful life is a crazy ride where anything can happen. Horrible tragedies can and will happen, but they can also give birth to new opportunities. Decomposing life makes the best fertilizer, which I'm not a botanist. I don't know how true that statement is, but it seems right. And you just never know. You can't know what's going to be right around the corner. You never know what's possible until you go all in, until you keep going. So victory or death for me, and I ain't dead yet. Upcoming events, August 26th from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. There's a group art show at the Flat Black Gallery in Palm Desert, California, at the Flat Black Art Supply Shop, Flat Black Gallery, August 26th, 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. I will be one of many amazing artists that will be featuring artwork at this group show. I will have a single piece there that I'm currently working on. I have no idea what piece will be there, but I will have one there, and I will be there myself if you want to come say hi and check out all the amazing artwork. I'm excited to see everybody else's artwork. I'm excited to meet all the other artists that are going to be participating. I'm excited. So mark your calendars for August 26th from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m., which is a group art show at the Flat Black Art Gallery in Palm Desert, California, which is part of the Palm Desert Mall off of Highway 111. And if you want more details, go to inspireddisorder.com/events for details of all of my upcoming live and local events. And I'm also thankful for the opportunity to connect with all of you through this podcast and for the chance to share my journey with you. Please join the conversation by leaving a comment or rating on your favorite podcast platform or over on youtube.com/inspireddisorder if you want to watch all of these episodes. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you next Saturday for another episode of Rayz Dayz. Subscribe to The Ray Taylor Show on YouTube and everywhere podcasts are found. Binge the full week ad-free over at inspireddisorder.com/plus. Purchase Ray Taylor Show merch over at inspireddisorder.com. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Peace out!
Today is the day where you wake up and you realize that everything that you've been dreaming about, everything that you've been wanting, every goal and wish and hope that you've ever had can become real. Dreams can come true. What you manifest in your mind, you can bring to reality.